We got an absolute ton of consoles and stuff to put up. As you guys know, I like to go through and show you guys what's getting put up on the actual store. So here's everything. Tons of Apple products. We got a lot of phones, even though they're iCloud locked. These things still sell for decent money. We have some of the Mario Kart circuits for Luigi and Mario. A brand new, not factory sealed because they never really sealed these things, but a brand new Wii. This is not the GameCube compatible one, but it still is worth around $330-ish. A few more of the RC car parts. We're running a little low on it, so we're pretty much towards the tail end of all the RC car stuff, but tons and tons of consoles in here. You can see we have like a stack of PS3, a stack of Wii, and then in here is just all consoles. There's just PS2s, there's Wii's, PS3, Slims, Super Slims, PS4 Pro. There's more Wii's in there, so all this stuff is getting put up. There's a little more things in here that we had at an auction we had from the previous day. We just haven't really got to it, but yeah, this is everything that's going up on the store. We're gonna go ahead and get shipping and show you guys what is gonna get pulled. All right, doing the different style from like just going and pulling everything out of there. So everything is already on the table now. I want to say, well, I will say this is everything from yesterday's sales up until last night. So a little less than 24 hours, like 20 hours worth of stuff that actually sold here. And then we'll go through the rest of the computer and actually pull the stuff that sold from last night up until the morning when I printed these labels. But we're gonna go through this stuff and I'll show you guys what it sold for. Again, I'm not going to film every single order, so I thought this was a better idea to give you guys an idea, because some of you are probably like, there's no way he's actually selling that much. So this way you guys can see everything that did sell, because obviously, you know, I might not go through and actually record me packing up, you know, a set of tires that sold for 25 bucks. So you can see there's tons of handhelds. There's some of the auctions ended for the Apple things, which we're still waiting on some of the payments, because you can see over there, there's still tons and tons left over there that we're still waiting for the payment from the buyer. But biggest sale would probably be this was about 150, this was about 130, this was 170, this was 120 because no, this is not 120, this was 170, this one was 120 because it was damaged. 100, this one's going international. 70, this is brand new. Bundle of these two sold. Another Punch Out sold. Random Switch games. Everything is kind of everywhere right now because I just pulled it just to get it up out of there. But this one sold. This was been sitting for a little bit, not too long. This is a NASA Coach watch, men's watch. It needs a new battery. Listed that it needs a new battery. Still sold for 150, I want to say. This was a 99-cent auction. So there's everything. We're going to get it packed up. And then I will start printing the labels from last night up until this morning. First lot of two today sold for $26. This is World Champion 2004 and the Eternal Duelist Soul for the Game Boy Advance. Both Yu-Gi-Oh titles. As always, these are good bundlers. I always told you guys to bundle these. And this one sold for $26.95. Got the first RC car part. We're kind of going backwards in the way that we pulled it. This is a Traxxas battery charger, the Easy Peak Plus, the 6 amp. This sold for $35. This will go first class. It's just at a pound. So $35.95 sale. Again, we're running a little low on the RC car parts. So you see there's some ECUs and batteries scattered randomly. The iCharger X6 sold, another remote sold. We're slowly selling those. The tires sold stupid fast. This entire bin was full of set of 4 like 4 days ago. We have a few more over here somewhere. I think there's a bin. I think it's either in that one or the bin behind it. There's another bin somewhere full of tires, but this battery charger from Traxxas. Traxxas is a great brand to look out for. Sold for $35.95. I actually talked about this game in the previous video, the Ninja 5.0 for the Game Boy Advance. This one sold for $299. I totally forgot to mention that. This was the biggest sale out of all this stuff. I completely forgot to mention that. So we listed it in acceptable condition, probably in good or very good. Probably could have gone for $350, but sold for $299. I didn't even take a best offer. I think we had it listed for like $319 and we put it on 10% off. So technically best offer sort of, but this was not a slow sale, but it wasn't like the crazy fastest. Probably sat for like a week. This is a very higher end Nintendo cart. That's very rare, obviously. So make sure you guys are keeping an eye out for this one. Sold for $299.61 or 21 cents. Got a parts console, original Game Boy, sold for $37.75. This is pretty apparent. Just doesn't have power. The battery terminals are pretty cooked, so that's probably what it needs to be replaced. Sold it just as is for parts. Still sold for $37. So these consoles, Game Boy Advances, Game Boy Advance SPs, DSIs, DS Lites, new 3DSX, all these Nintendo handheld consoles, even the Switch, still sell for good money as parts. And this one sold for $37.75. Got another Traxxas receiver. This is the Traxxas Top Qualifier I. This is the part number 6533. Sold for $22.45. We have not a ton of these left. We have, or had, way more. We decided to put them in here and make it a little easier for us to pull them, like the same ones are going here. But I mean, these alone, I know they don't look like much, but these things are not cheap. We have our little like RC shelf here. It's slowly deteriorating, unfortunately. It was fun selling these RC car things because it was easier to test, and I mean, they're small. They don't really require a lot. But this receiver sold for $22.45. Again, Traxxas is a good brand to look out for RC car stuff. Now, here's the first lot that we shipped from the Apple big old lot. This is the only one that is actually paid. Actually, there might be another one. I just haven't pulled it yet. We've sold probably, it's really unfortunate, to be honest. And the way this works is like people will buy these auctions and then realize they don't actually want it when they go to pay. Unfortunately, on eBay, what they should do is when they bid, the card should automatically be charged. It just isn't, and because of that, things sit. Like we have like 16 things that are sitting on auction right now that just haven't been paid for, and they've ended, and it takes 7 days for our auctions to end. So if they never pay, we have to relist it and wait another 7 days. I know we could just shorten it, but it's really fucking retarded. I don't really understand why they don't just charge the cards immediately once they finish. Their payments are already on file, obviously. So I mean, like the iPhone lot of 6, this huge stack of iPhones finished at 303, and the guy immediately said, I want to cancel. Like not even a minute after the auction. I don't really understand why people bid. Just don't bid if you don't want it. It's not a fucking hard concept. But this sold for $211.50. This is a lot of 9 Apple iPad tablets, mixed models, mixed brands, or not mixed brands, mixed colors, and etc. They're all unchecked as is. We sold them exactly like that. Started at 99 cents and sold for $211. All right, we are shipping this. This is one of the bigger ones that I was talking about. This is the Gears of War 4, the collector's edition. This one's actually not brand new, which I technically think it is technically brand new. I don't think they ever sealed it like with a sticker here, but the foam insert, I'm not taking it out because putting it back in is a pain in my ass, but this is brand new around the entire styrofoam. This sold for $160.40. Thankfully, this is not going international because this is definitely something an international buyer would buy because they might not have access to this anywhere in their country. But $162, only going to North Carolina, so not too far. And we actually saved the box right there that it came in. Not this is a huge one, but the one up there. That way, when we go to ship it, it fits really nice, tight and snug. But that's a pretty fast turnaround because we do have a lot more of the collector's editions up there that are waiting for a new home. Here's an Apple product from the non-auction lot, and this is irrelevant. This is for one of the Kindles that we sold, or are selling. This sold for $50. This is an Apple iPad 2nd generation, the Air 2, and it is iCloud locked. I don't know if it's even going to power on right now to show you guys, but iCloud locked is pretty much when you try to boot it up or connect to your Wi-Fi once it's reset, and the previous user's iCloud is still on there, and you'd have to enter the iCloud password, which you obviously don't have, to actually get into the iPad to fully reset it. So that's what's considered iCloud locked or IC locked. So even if it is iCloud locked or just passcode locked, doesn't turn on, whatever, this stuff still sells for good money. Obviously the newer and stuff, like I think an iPhone XR for parts still sells for like $100 plus. I'm not really familiar with the Apple world, but we're slowly getting to it. I mean, just like the trading card stuff, you can see we have a few trading cards here and here. I think there's one more somewhere, but we put a few more over here. But it's all about branching out and getting into other things once you actually understand your first category. Like I mentioned, if you guys watched the other video where I talked about putting all your focus into one main, really, really strong category. If you haven't seen that, go watch that after this video. It's called It's Not You, It's eBay, or One Tip to Change Your eBay List, something like that. It's really solid information there that, I mean, would definitely change your sales. I mean, I'm not going to say a percentage because it depends on what you're selling, but it'll definitely help you guys out. Here is the Coach watch that we mentioned. Again, just at the beginning of the video, this is the NASA and Coach limited edition, I listed rare men's watch, sold for $143. Again, we listed that it needs a new battery, so it would have been more, probably would have been in the twos, but overall, cosmetically, pretty clean, and only took about a month to sell, so this is when I was looking at a bunch of jewelry stuff and got this for a really solid price. Here's that new 2DS XL, the black and blue turquoise one. This one actually comes with a charger that I need to grab. I'll just go ahead and grab it because I'm gonna have to get another one regardless. But sold for $179. That one sold pretty quick. Unfortunately, the other one that we had a damaged bottom screen. Like the whole screen was damaged. It's still touchscreen, still worked. It's just the bottom of it was just all spiderwebbed from, I guess, the previous guy dropping it. But this one, good to go. Sold for $179.95. Next one we're actually pulling is the Pokemon Leaf Green. So same thing as this one. You look for the chip. I told you guys in a previous video, they can't reproduce those little square or 4-tri chips. This one sold for $106.16. This one did have a good battery, so we didn't have to grab a battery from our XYZ box. But this one is a really clean label, 100% authentic. Another way to tell, obviously, is little indents right there next to or above to the right of the Pokemon logo. But another super fast sale. Always Pokemon is always good to look for. It doesn't really matter what it is. Obviously, the cheaper end trading cards are, not the greatest, but this one was definitely good. Got another Spectrum receiver. I think I was calling these ECUs earlier. This is the SR6100 or 6110 AT. This one sold for $38.66. We had 4 quantities of these, and we'll still have the other 3 left, obviously. But this one sold for $38. We've got Akira Warriors 3. This one is in crazy acceptable condition. The top label is even damaged. It is tested and working. Obviously, we made sure the buyer knew what they were buying. Tested and it works. I mean, obviously, the cartridge is just beat to all living hell. Maybe they'll reshell it or something. I don't really know. Still sold for $31.45. As long as you make these discrepancies known when you're listing stuff like this, that it has obvious heavy wear, and the buyer's aware of that and they're still okay with it, then that's fine. Like I said, most people will throw these games away, or they'll throw them in big lots, and these things will sell for $1 or $2. Obviously, this is not a $1 or $2 game. If it's cheap, like Double Dribble or whatever, then it's a different story. But this one is not a cheap one to begin with, even in this condition. This one took eternity to sell, I'll admit that. This is, I don't even know if this is a game or if this is just music. It is brand new. This is Jason Roher, Diamond Trust of London. It just looks like it's just music. It's probably why it took forever to sell. This still sold for $30. We got best offer of $30. It was also for like $40, but it's been sitting for months and months, and I really don't blame it because I don't even think this is a game. I think this is just music. So still sold for $30, and it is brand new, so not the craziest sale, but we still made a decent ROI off of it. Got a 64 game. This is Mario Tennis. This one sold for $23.60. Don't even remember where we got this one from. It's probably one of the big bundles we picked up. But a clean label on Mario Tennis sold for pretty much $24. All right, here's another finally another bigger sale. This was one of the 99-cent auctions from the RC car thing. You see what the MSRP is on it, but I'm pretty sure everything is included in this. I don't really understand why they didn't put the McLaren shell here, maybe for like, I don't know, copyright reasons or something to do with McLaren not wanting them to do it. I have no idea. 99-cent auction start, free shipping, sold for $133.50. This thing is pretty cool. I think this is the second to last one. We have one more. The last one is right there. You can see that little like Jeep crawler of these big box like Horizon Hobby style RC cars. But fast sale, obviously, sold for within 7 days on the 7-day auction for $133. Got a black Game Boy Advance. This one sold for a little less just because the condition is, an acceptable. It does come with the battery cover, but as you can see, the screen is pretty beat up. And obviously, I don't have the tools in-house to be able to fix stuff like this right now. But this one still sold for $68.35. Got a one of the NES games that we finally sold. This was one of the ones that came from that big bin that you guys see over there. The Iron Sword Wizards and Warriors 2. Fully complete. Still sold for $34.15. So not necessarily the highest in complete box NES game, but still a decent price. Obviously, we'll ship. Cardboard goes cardboard. That's that. Still not a crazy sold price, but still for 34 bucks, it's not bad. Got another Spectrum receiver. This is AR6000. This is actually not for, well, it's still for RC, but this is for a remote control airplane, not the RC cars that we're used to selling the receivers for. It's kind of why it looks a little different. Maybe the casing gives it away or something, but this one's sold for $31.45. Here's a higher end JRPG 3DS cartridge only Devil Survivor Overclock. This is a Shin Megami Tensei title for the 3DS. This cart only sold for $31.25. This one only sat for, I think, like a little over a week. I'm sure you guys can get the gist. A lot of the video games don't really sit for more than a week or two. But this one sold for, again, $31.25. Cartridge only is around that price. Case with everything in there with the manual complete box, I believe is pushing 80. So this is definitely a good one to keep your eye out for. I know some of you might mention or remember the iCharger X6 that I mentioned in the previous video. It did sell this week or this day for $80.99. I believe I actually told it was like worth like 60, but I guess I had it confused with something else in my mind. But this is pretty much just I'm pretty sure it's just a charger, or it shows the battery's health. Again, I'm not really big into the RC car stuff, but iCharger is a good brand to look out for. We had another larger one that sold like last week for $250. That was like the 1060, I think. I don't really remember the exact model, but this one sold super fast for $80.90. This is actually a retail arbitrage purchase and flip. Saw this on Facebook. These were on clearance in Walmart. I believe I paid $58 for this one. Sold it for $85. I know you might not say, what the fuck, there's no profit there. There's a little bit. And for stuff like this, that's, you know, first party stuff, that's higher end stuff, and it will sell super fast. I do not mind paying up for it all, even only to make lunch money off of it, because I know it'll sell fast. If you have 10 of these, that's, you know, $100 profit. That's easy. I mean, obviously we didn't buy 10 of them, but you can check your BrickSeek to see if your local Walmart has it. It'll say if it's on clearance or not. But this one did sell for $85.46. We got the PlayStation 1, the first generation, the ONE, not the one. Brand new, factory sealed controller. Really don't see these too often at all. I mean, the PlayStation 2 ones, the black ones, you find all the time, the DualShocks. You really do not ever see the PS first generation 1 controllers brand new. This sold for $143.96. Took a little bit to sell, but that's a part of the game when it comes to the sealed game, is stuff takes a little longer to sell. But when you do see the sale notification, it's a lot more satisfying because it's usually up there. So $143 sale, not the best turnaround time, but I will definitely take it. All right, second batch is around 11. 2 of them are international. We're at $83.64. 53 is going to USPS. The other 30 is for eBay International. I haven't pulled it all yet, but the main one is the Traxxas Snap-on shell for the Ford Fiesta ST. One of the iPad lots, it's one of those, sold for $210, which we'll go through it in the video in a second. All right, this is everything from the last 10. So we got Def Jam 5 for New York for the GameCube Black Label with a Greatest Hits disc. This sold for, I want to say, $140, $135. These are both the international sales. Tekken 3 Black Label sold for $30. This sold for $44. This is both going to, I think, Brazil and Canada, or vice versa, whatever. Kindle, lower sales, sold for $20. A lot of 9 iPhone 7 and 7 Pluses sold for $213. The Snap-on, we listed at $99 auction. Didn't get a bid last week. Relisted it for $89 auction. Got a bid. Buyer paid immediately, no problems. One of the last lot of 4 tires. This is a bundle of Episode Racer 1 and the Rogue Squadron, I'm pretty sure. And then this is like $25 sale. And the Namco Museum Volume 5 disc only sold for, I'm pretty sure, $99. This is a good one to look out for. The Black Label of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sells for like $250, $300 if they're complete, the Black Labels, not the Greatest Hits. So look out for Black Labels of Namco Museum Volume 4 and 5, because I don't even think there's a Greatest Hits of 4 and 5 for Namco Museum. But yes, that is everything. All in all, that is about, let me check. So the past 2 days, that would be, I guess, these 2 days right here. So about, what is this? 22 and 22. So what, about $4,500 in sales in the past 2 days. So not bad. And then a few of these things have sold from today. So we're at 777 so far. It's only 220. We got a little ways to go, but you can see the graph of how it's moved up and down, and we've kind of brought it up when I don't remember when we got the RC car stuff, and I'm sure it's around here. But even before RC, we still were close to 15 to 2,000 on good days. But that is everything, guys. I appreciate it. We're going to get all the stuff packed up for the remainder stuff. Check out the other videos about some tips and tricks of listing and then vice versa. We're going to pull some things from the auction or to put on an auction because always we're going to be listing about 50 to 100 things a day. It kind of depends on what we're getting, and always try to be putting up $20 plus, $20 to $25 plus items a day on your listing price, or $20 to $25 of a listing on your listing price to make sure you guys are getting good sales coming in. If you guys have any questions, just put them down in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching the video. Peace out.